Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to Hotsport. It's going to be another exciting week of Premier League football. This is going to be a pivotal week for me, I think, in terms of in the title race and everything in between. A lot of the teams that are playing each other on our similar tiers. If you go back and watch Anton's tiers that we released earlier today, I outlined a lot of that stuff. So, like, the tier, like, it's going to be a really, really, really good week of football. And I'm so excited to get into it. But this now, of course, is time for Under Pressure. And I apologize again for last week when Under Pressure didn't get any graphics or anything. Same with Upset Alert. It's just been very, very crazy last weekend. And yeah, and it's been crazy all week. Just, it's just the life all of a sudden, getting into my YouTube swing a lot more often. But we have got a really nice list to you, and guess what? It's been getting more and more difficult every single week to come up with lists. There's some weeks, like, I just feel like it's uneven. There's some weeks where, like, there's so many people on the list, and I'm like, this guy probably should be on the list, but I didn't put him in there, or I just put everybody on the list. And then there recent weeks, especially this week, like, there weren't any really obvious candidates. A lot of my favorite guys, obvious candidates, are been out with injury, and therefore it's taken them a kind of off of the spotlight. So I've had to really dig deep this week. But there's some people who've gone really under the radar in terms of probably needing to be under a lot more pressure than what they have been. So those people aren't getting away with it this week. So we got a really important list to get excited for in this video. But before we get into that, guys, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you are subscribing to Hotsport, all right? And, of course, follow us on the socials below, and as well, go check out Fire Them Cannons. Hit that QR code. It will take you to Fire Them Cannons. Another great episode we had this week with my boy Cal, back from Japan. And we also had David, Man United David, who's, of course, been on this segment before, join us impromptu, but surprisingly, and it was a pleasant surprise to have him on that show. But anyway, guys, you're hearing me rambling enough about my stuff. Let's get into what you're all here for. That is for Under Pressure. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Under Pressure, guys. And let's go. Let's get to work, guys, on an Under Pressure list that I think you guys are just gonna. I think you guys are gonna enjoy. I think you will. And there are some people who will not enjoy it. Some people who, are underplaying how poor their team has been, and that would be Newcastle United. I am done. I am done absolving them of pressure. I've tried to here and there. There have been times where they made this list. But let's be blatantly honest here. Their form is so inconsistent. We are 10 games into the season, 1 quarter into the season, plus, and they are only on 12 points. I kept hearing excuses about, like, we didn't have a striker or whatever. But they've had a striker now since the last 7 weeks or so. And I gotta say, Eddie Howe, I love Eddie Howe as the manager, but he should be under pressure. And here's the main reason why. Because, I keep talking about it every single week on the tiers. I think it's about time for Newcastle. They need to start hitting around a form. They can't string more than one win together. They can't. I don't think they've won back-to-back games all season. If they had, they would have more than 12 points at this point. And, like, they've got the striker. I think Voltamato's been playing well. But somehow they still only have 10 goals through 10 matches. That's an average of a goal a game. And, the expectations for Newcastle were, let's push the big boys. I was being told, regardless of Isak coming or not, like, we all try to give him an excuse. Be like, Isak is going. You guys are off the hook. And like, no. We think we're better than Man United. We think we're better than Spurs. We think we're better than Chelsea. You know, they pointed me to a late season, this or that excuse as to why they didn't finish above those guys. And look, they are playing Champions League. And I gotta say, in the Champions League, Newcastle have given a great account for themselves. So I do believe that this underhook for Eddie Howe isn't like something super serious or a sacking or any type of stuff. All right, because I think overall he's done a brilliant job with Newcastle. And again, they're in the Champions League. I think now for the second time in his management, I think he's taken them to levels that Newcastle haven't really been experiencing for a long time. I mean, I don't remember the last time before it was a couple of seasons ago that they were in the Champions League, or if ever. So he's again, he won the trophy last year. So I'm not gonna say that he's like fully under pressure, but again, it's bare pickings right now in terms of manager. I don't think we think there's a manager right now who's seriously, truly under pressure. But yeah, Newcastle this week, I think they got a toughie. They got Brentford. So instead of back-to-back wins, it could be back-to-back defeats. And I think they've already had that already this season as well. I want to just take a glimpse into this. Newcastle, so they've drawn, lost, drawn, win, drew, lost, win, lost, win, lost. That is so inconsistent. That is such a mixed bag. That is like, that's not going to get you top 4 or top 5. That's going to get you mid-table if you play like that. Win, loss, draw, win, loss, draw, win, loss, draw. It's like a no way. And here's unfortunate part. They just got pumped by West Ham away from home, who everyone was pumping West Ham. That's why I feel like this is the point where Eddie got to go under pressure, because now it's like there's nowhere to hide, guys. And yeah, I looked at the table last year, and they were somewhere hereabouts as well. Like they kind of struggle, the slow starters in general. But they got to pick it up. And going away to Brentford, look at Brentford's last 2 results at home. They beat Liverpool and they beat Manchester United. So Brentford has been really good. I think, in fact, I could argue Brentford have been better than Newcastle this year, probably somewhere abouts. Brentford, yeah, they're on 13 points. They're 1 point off, better off. So this is a big game, actually. For reality to set in for Newcastle, this is actually a big game. This is their level. Can they beat a team on their level away from home? Because last week I was saying, hey, you guys need to win 2 in a row. Instead, they absolutely blew off the park. Now that I think they're in grave danger of losing 2 in a row, I just got to say. So Eddie Howe, under a little bit amount of pressure. Again, I will say that there aren't many managers in the league right now that are under pressure. So he kind of was a bit unlucky in that respect, but he is under less. Let's move on to the next player who's going to be under pressure. And he's really fallen under the radar of my cooking, especially considering that after the big summer that's been with all the big new additions coming into the league. That's kind of where my focus has been overall in general this year. But this guy, I thought this guy would be really good in the Premier League. I thought this guy would be a difference maker, that he would be a needle mover for Tottenham. I did. But go back, I mean, what really alarmed me was this Chelsea performance. So firstly, he wasn't supposed to be starting for Chelsea at all. So he has had a poor form overall, to the point where Thomas Frank didn't even start him against Chelsea. By the way, I was going after Verts for, lacking of numbers in GA. Xavi Simons has only 1 assist all season in the Prem. I believe he's got 1 in the Champions League, which just about happened was in the midweek. He could have multiple ones in the Champions League, to be fair. I haven't really. I have to take a look at his statistics. So in the Premier League this season, 7 appearances, 5 starts, 0 goals, 1 assist, 1 big chance created, 1 in the whole entire first quarter of the season. 7 games. Again, he could come in after 3 games. In the Champions League, 4 appearances, 2 starts, no goals, 1 assist. Okay, that's his first one, was against Copenhagen in the midweek. And I gotta say, he picked it up. He played a lot better in Copenhagen. So it's similar to like I was talking about Newcastle. Like they also had a impressive win in the Champions League in the midweek. So did Spurs. But let's highlight this because Xavi Simons wasn't meant to start. He came on the 7th minute. And then, not just that, he hit even the ball away. And the most crucial point, he gave the ball away to Caicedo to the goal that they eventually lost in the match. That was kind of when I was like, my red alert, my alert on Xavi Simons was going up. Because I just thought he would be a lot cleaner on the ball than that, to be honest. And he's losing duels after duel after duel, and he's just not getting the spaces that he's used to in the Bundesliga. What does that sound like? Florian Wirtz. I mean, it's just these Bundesliga number 10s are just struggling to acclimatize to the Premier League. Now, I think Simons is a good player, and I think he is going to get better as the season goes on. I think he responded well in the Champions League game. But, I mean, he was supposed to be the answer. He was, when Eze was coming out after Arsenal got Eze instead of them, they were doing stadium reveals of this dude, right? And they were trying to mock Arsenal with let it all work out, and Xavi Simons is better than Eze, and blah blah blah. For me, Eze is making an impact in the Premier League this season, like it or not. Like he's not hit the full heights. He scored a winner against Palace. That was massive. He scored there was a massive equalizer that he played as well. The pass that he played for Martinelli's equalizer. Excuse me, sorry, I just got tumbled. Somebody's giving me a phone call, and I don't know why I'm receiving calls here. It's supposed to be, yeah, I don't know who that is. Anyway, guys, Xavi Simons has gone under the radar, and no more. It's time to pick it up, Xavi, because you're supposed to be the difference here for Spurs. Spurs right now, form is slipping. You have a big game this weekend against Old Trafford, against the team from Old Trafford, Man United. What is wrong with my head in this show today? Against Manchester United. So I think it's a must-win game, this one for Spurs, because they're slipping. And I think United are in a good form. I think it'll be a really, really good early kickoff, to be honest. I think it'll be really entertaining. It'll be a good early kickoff and a good late kickoff. And when I say good late kickoff, let's move on to the teams under pressure this week. And we get to the main topics here. Arsenal. Again, Arsenal under pressure. And you're like, damn, for a guy who's been talking so much chest about Arsenal, you surely did just put them under pressure. They shouldn't be under pressure. According to you, they're running away with the league right now. There's a clear distance between them. They're comfortable at the top. They are. And I would like to remain that way. For me, I think this will be a theme, in my honesty, throughout this weekend. I'm a little bit nervous about Sunderland. Granit Xhaka is out there sending, inspirational video posts, pump-up videos for this game. Now, it can go one or two ways. Either Granit Xhaka can be awesome, or Granit Xhaka can get sent off with a red. I mean, let's not forget what Granit Xhaka is. But the point here is this is a massive game. I'm going to put all the pressure on Arsenal to win this game. Firstly, because of the other matchup that's going to go on, and we'll touch on that. City and Liverpool. We win this game. We got so much to look forward to. We can kick our feet up. Really, no matter what happens, something is going to be good for us potentially with Liverpool against City, if that's the case. If we're to lose at the game, all of a sudden I'm tuning into Man City Liverpool, hoping desperately for a draw. Or draw. If we draw, definitely. Because we're going to lose ground if we lose to Sunderland. And Sunderland is can be a tricky fixture. I just want to, by hook or by crook, make sure that we get out of this with 3 points. I don't care how it looks. I just want the 3 points. And the other pressure that's on Arsenal, which you're going to laugh at me, is to keep a clean sheet. Because I think this is the biggest clean sheet we could potentially keep all season. We keep this clean sheet, and we would cement ourselves in the record books, Arsenal record books, for the most consecutive clean sheets in the history of our club, a record that has stood for 122 years. We've now tied that record. Let's go ahead and break it this weekend against Sunderland. So, yeah, let's just maintain that excellence. All right, let's not take our foot off the gas. Let's not get complacent. We got a 2-week break here, and for Arsenal, it's going to be because there's so many players on the shelf with injuries, and that's the other part, right? We are bear picking at the moment in terms of injuries right now. Victor Gyökeres is not going to be playing today. Martinelli's not going to be playing today. That's already over. You know, some of the players are missing already. Odegaard, Havertz, Madueke. Let's just get out of this with a win. Let's just get out of this with a win. I'm just putting pressure on us. I think there is pressure because, like I think many weeks prior, I've been talking about, you know, Arsenal, you know, Liverpool and City play each other, so it's tough for them, right? But for us, we have to play our part, and we've done it so well in this period of time since the international, before the international break, since our fixtures got easier. This is the last one because, of course, with the break, and then we've got Chelsea, and then we got Spurs, and we got Bayern, and we got Chelsea coming up afterwards. We've got a bit of a tough run of games, challenging run of games, I'd say. So let's just do this one. Let's finish up this little period bracket of the season, which I thought was very important. Let's go through that all perfect. Let's go through it with a clean sheet and really take control of this league because this is like, that's what I mean. We win this one, we can really start to get a grip, like a real grip of the league, and that gap is opening up even more, and that's going to be a sweet for me, and I can go on all the shows this week and be like, hey guys, we thought you guys were closing the gap. Well, the gap is now widened. Please, Arsenal, do not let me down. We've been so consistent. I don't know why. It's just I feel like in the past, you know, is this too good to be true sometimes? And it's the Granit Xhaka factor, the Stadium of Light. Sunderland have been good this year. It seems like a bit of a banana skin, but let's just avoid the peel. Let's avoid slipping over the peel. All right, guys? I hit my mic. Been a great show. You know, I've been really on the ball today. And then finally, guys, these pair. And it has to pair up with the other side. And now I'm going to reverse the psychology. Whoever loses this game, for me, it's going to be very hard for me to see them in the title race. And I've been thinking about this all week, as you can imagine. Obviously, I want to draw. I think anyway, regardless of our result, I want to draw in this game. Because that almost makes the conversation moot. You know, if we draw against Sunderland, which is still a slip up, they draw, we're exactly where we are right now. And I'm still happy with that. Like, I'm not comfortable with this lead, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, the extension, the lead extension, I'd be starting to get greedy. But then when we win this game, obviously the extension goes 2 each. Then again, for both of those teams, 8 and 9, that's a lot. Let's talk about whoever loses this game. So let's apply the pressure, right? If Liverpool lose this game, they will be 10 points behind Arsenal if we win. Twice in the history of the Premier League has a team come back from a 10-plus point deficit to win the league. I believe that was Blackburn Rovers, and it was Arsenal. It would be Liverpool's 5th defeat of the season. They lost 4 defeats all season. And at the back end of last season, they lost most of those because they took their foot off the gas. So this is a real pressure cooker of a game for them. And they have to go away to the Etihad. I mean, like, honestly, for me, I think it's the most unlikely result that Liverpool beat Man City. But the other way around, if Man City lose to Liverpool, they would be 9 points behind Arsenal, which would be a steeper a steeper deficit than ever when Arsenal have been leading in the title race when it comes to Manchester City. They overcame an 8-1. 9 would be the largest. And we're talking about without games in hand. A lot of those other leads have been with games in hand. City have won Carabao Cups or whatever, been in cup finals or in the Club World Cup or something like that, and they've had games in hand. So this time this would be a raw 9, a raw 9. And to be honest, I've already declared Liverpool out of this race. It's unprecedented to have 4 defeats this early, to lose 4 games in a row and move on to win the title. For me, it's just a bad omen. And for Manchester City, this would be their 4th defeat of the season as well if they were to lose this game. So the pressure is on. Look, I think the prize is for either of these two teams that I think if you win this, I would say you are in the race, that you would be the main contender. Now, I think after this weekend, unless we'll drop points. So I'm going to say with the caveat that we win, please God. If there is a loser of this game, the title race will be a 2-horse race, not a 3-horse race. That's just the facts. Like, look at the consistency of us. We're not even conceding shots on goal, let alone goals. I'm saying this all the time, but I think it's a beautiful song. Let alone draws, let alone defeats. You guys, 4 defeats after 11 games for both of you. The more I look at this, the more it's just matters if Arsenal win, because there is so much good that can happen from anything. I don't really care. Like, I don't really like. I'll just be entertained and enjoy the football and be like, oh, okay. Like, obviously the draw would be beneficial for me, but even in the draw, by the way, I'd say they're both kind of still like a crack of a door open for them, right? But a defeat for either of them, especially for Liverpool, I think the team that can't afford to lose the most is Liverpool, and yet I feel like they're the one that's more likely to lose. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, Manchester City against Liverpool at the Etihad. Let's just hope that Arsenal take care of business at the Stadium of Light first. I would have loved to have had an easier sort of match without an ex-player who's looking for our neck. But, you don't win titles doing it easy way, do you? So that is all I got to say for today for this Under Pressure segment. Guys, let me know what you think about the Under Pressure list for this weekend. Who do you believe could have been on this list, or do you agree? Do you think Eddie Howe is under pressure at Newcastle? Do you think that Newcastle could be in trouble, that they're below the standards of the moment? Do you think XAVI Simons has been flying under the radar in terms of being a flop potentially this year? And what do you think about that 3-way tussle this weekend? Who do you think is going to win? Do you think Arsenal will beat Sunderland? Do you think Sunderland is going to take anything from that game? And tell me what do you think the result will be between Liverpool and Manchester City. Guys, thank you very much again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Hit the QR code to subscribe to Fire Them Cannons and visit me on my socials. We will be back on another video today for Upset Alert. Until next time, Anton out.